Welcome back. This is it, the final deep dive in our series on building truly resilient
The
systems.
final pillar.
The final pillar, exactly. We've covered housing, we've talked about that internal stability from feeding, now we're tackling hygiene, and the real mission today is to understand why the traditional approach to cleanliness just isn't cutting it.
It really isn't. And that's what the data shows us. When you see those persistent issues in the field, the scours, the constant respiratory pressure, that's not just a string of bad luck.
It feels like it, though.
It does, but it's very often a failure by design. The whole traditional approach is fundamentally reactive. You're cleaning after a problem, you're treating an infection that's already there,
It's firefighting.
constant firefighting. And that is exhausting and frankly is just not sustainable.
Okay, so let's unpack that. An operator is out there, they're pressure washing, they're using disinfectants, the place looks clean. Why are you telling us it can look pristine but actually behave dirty?
Because the real enemy is the one you can't see. Pathogens don't just sit on a surface waiting to be wiped away. They hide. They live inside organic residue, moisture in this invisible sticky shield called biofilm.
Biofilm, okay.
Think of it like plaque on your teeth. It's a protective layer, so your disinfectant can wash right over the top, but the harmful bacteria underneath are completely shielded.
So the chemical never even makes contact.
Often it doesn't, and this is the other crucial idea. Aiming for total sterilization is actually a mistake. It creates an unstable environment, a vacuum, and the first bugs that rush back in are almost always the ones you don't want.
So the goal has to shift then. We're not aiming for sterile, we're aiming for, what, biological stability.
That's the term, proactive biological stability. It's a strategy, not just scrubbing. And that brings us to the PACE biological hygiene framework. It's a sequence.
Okay, so what are the steps?
Step 1 is physical. This is simple, and it's absolutely non-negotiable. You have to use a pressure washer to physically remove all the manure, all the organic gunk. If you leave the dirt, the disinfectant can't work.
Simple enough. Step 2 then must be the chemical part.
Exactly. Step 2 is chemical. You use a good oxidated disinfectant to kill whatever's left on that clean surface.
All right, so physical, then chemical. That sounds pretty standard. Why is there a third step? I mean, if the chemical kills the germs, what more is there to do?
That's the key question. The chemical struggles against the structure of that biofilm and, those deep-set milk fats. It can't always break them down. So step 3 is biological.
Okay.
This is where you bring in enzyme-based cleaners and surfactants. These are the tools that actively dismantle the habitat. They break down the fats, the residues, the biofilm itself. You're not just getting rid of the renter, you're taking down the whole house.
That makes so much sense. You've basically stripped away all their protection, but now you have this perfectly clean but totally empty surface. It's vulnerable, isn't it?
Extremely vulnerable, and you have to act immediately. That leads to what happens right after the cleaning. We do an immediate targeted repopulation
We've what?
with specific probiotics, good bacteria. We essentially seed the surfaces to create a protective biological layer. It's a principle called competitive exclusion.
Right, so the good guys move in and take up all the space.
They take all the real estate, all the resources, and there's just no room left at the end for the pathogens to get a foothold.
Yeah.
And you maintain this by applying a product called cedar twice a week. It just keeps that healthy microbial community dominant.
So you're constantly reinforcing the good guys.
You're managing the environment proactively. And this is most critical in those high-risk zones, hutches, feeders, teats, anywhere you get that mix of milk, manure, moisture, and warmth. Delivering clean milk through dirty hardware just undoes all your good work.
So bringing it all together, what does this final hygiene pillar mean for the big picture, for acclimatization?
It's the piece that connects everything. The housing gives you controlled exposure. The feeding gives you internal stability. And this type of hygiene, it removes the avoidable stress.
The constant immune challenge.
That's it. When an animal isn't wasting all its energy fighting off constant infections, that energy can go directly into growth and development. That is the definition of predictable performance. You're building resilience through control, not chaos.
So the final takeaway is that the complete PACE system, housing, hardware, hygiene, it's a fundamental shift from reactive firefighting to proactive prevention.
It is. It ensures all your investment in genetics and nutrition actually pays off with consistent, stable performance. Because, like in any sport, it doesn't matter if you're ahead at halftime. The only time it counts is at the final whistle.
A perfect way to put it. So a final thought for all of you to take away. Have a real look at your own systems. How much of your daily routine is focused just on managing symptoms versus how much is focused on eliminating the very habitat where the problem begins?